Hello everyone, I am BowserJrXD, and welcome to the Mohegan Sun 100, race 7 of 16 for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour in 2024. So I don't do a lot of modified streams, but for this one, this is one of the few races that is a Cup Series, well, just top NASCAR Series support race. Other ones being Richmond and Martinsville. And New Hampshire is specifically really cool for the modifieds because it races like Daytona for the Cup Series. It's a lot of drafting involved. So, figured I'd do this one. Now, the race is supposed to be at 6 p.m., but it was moved up due to weather and the concerns. I would presume Xfinity will be tomorrow morning, with Cup being Tuesday based on weather. No, I'm just waiting. Just waiting for it to start. I heard the command was supposed to go 2 minutes ago. So, there we go. So, we got 30 cars on today's lineup. So, it's time for the starting lineup for today's Mohegan Sun 100. Starting 30th, driving the number 8, 82 Services LFR for 82 Autosport. 38 years old from Thompson, Connecticut, John Michael Shinnett. Starting 29th, driving the number 70, Rockingham Boat LFR for Steve Seuss, that's how it's pronounced. 37 years old from Hampstead, New Hampshire, Andy Seiss. Starting 28th, driving the number 79, Christopher's Towing Fury for John McKennedy. 37 years old from Chelmsford, Massachusetts, John McKennedy. Yeah, the chassis builders are a lot different than they would be between the modified Tour and basically anything else. Starting 27th, driving the number 38, Pace-O-Matic, S&S Racing, Mohawk, Baldwin Automotive, PSR Products, PSR for PSR Products. 17 years old from Mooresville, North Carolina, Luke Baldwin, the son of Tommy Baldwin Jr., who owns the number 7 car. And I don't know his date of birth, but he might be the youngest driver in the field. Starting 26th, driving the number 43, J&M Towing and Recovery, Pudiak Wealth Management, Central Mass Tree LFR for William Kimball Trucking. 21 years old from Bennington, New Hampshire, Matt Kimball. Another thing that's more common is a ton of local sponsors. Starting 25th, driving the number 28, MLM Diagnostics, Jucksack Electric Troyer for Taylor Charbonnier. 44 years old from Hudson, New Hampshire, Mike Marshall. Starting 24th, driving the number 17, Extreme Racing, Secor Machine, Zelinsky Heating and Cooling, Bell's Septic, A.L. Johnson & Sons Roofing, Sontag Motorsports, Carbone Siding and Windows LFR for Michelle Davini. 31 years old from Woburn, Massachusetts, Anthony Nocella, the 2022 New Hampshire winner. Starting 23rd, driving the number 06, Rameau Family Motorsports Fury for Rameau Family Motorsports. 22 years old from Westminster, Massachusetts, Sam Rameau, and the cars are on track now. Starting 22nd, driving the number 44, Harshaw Paving, Olivaz Market LFR for Lonnie Tenio. 26 years old from Roxbury, Connecticut, Chase Doling, the 2018 Fall New Hampshire winner. Starting 21st, driving the number 40, Race Choice, Flamingo Motorsports, Mizzy Construction Fury for Jeff Priest. 33 years old from Berlin, Connecticut, the Cup Series own Ryan Priest and the 2021 New Hampshire winner. Starting 20th, driving to number 89, Cervalos Auto, Casella Snowplows, Mully's Auto Repair Fury for John Swanson, 24 years old from Acton, Massachusetts, Matt Swanson. Starting 19th, driving to number 00, Class Motorsports, Florida Safety Systems, Automotive Consultants Chevrolet for Jody Lawson. Yeah, they make modified chassis. 36 years old from Tonawanda, New York, Annie Jankowiak, who skipped the ARCA race to run today. Starting 18th, driving number 26, Lakeland Avenue Landscape Supply Chevrolet for Lakeland Avenue Landscape Supply. 66 years old from Ronkonkoma, New York, Gary McDonald, the oldest driver in the field. Starting 17th, driving to number 14, AdvantageTrucks.com, Anastasi Trucking LFR for Advantage Motorsports. 38 years old from Franklin, Massachusetts, Bobby Santos III, who's won here 6 times. 2014 Summer Race, the 2017 Summer Race, the 2017 Fall Race, the 2018 Summer Race, the 2019 Fall Race, and the 2020 race. Starting 16th, driving to number 7, Baldwin Automotive PSR for Tommy Baldwin Racing. 44 years old from Milford, Connecticut. The 2012 Fall, 2013 Summer, 2015 Fall, and 2016 Summer New Hampshire winner, Doug Kobe. Starting 15th, driving to number 58, GAF Roofing Fury for Goody Motorsports. 32 years old from Islip, New York, Timmy Salamito. Starting 14th, driving to number 01, Pine Knoll Auto Sales Farm Fuel Nutrition Troyer for Pine Knoll Racing. 31 years old from Wakefield, New Hampshire, Melissa Feifeld. And starting 13th, driving to number 32, Musco Lighting Northeast Drilling Make-A-Wish Fury for Dean Ripkema. 27 years old from Owego, New York, Tyler Ripkema. I'm going to be going over the starting lineup, continuing into the race, so forgive me for that. Starting 12th, driving number 4, Connolly Companies LLC Fury for Connolly Racing. 63 years old from Endicott, New York, Tim Connolly, the 1997's, the winner of the first summer race from 1997 at New Hampshire. Yeah, he's an old fart. Backstretch now. Starting 11th, driving to number 18, Bowie One Seafood Restaurant and Market Fury for Robert Polifrone. 57 years old from Calverton, New York, Ken Heege. Now for the top 10. Starting 10th, driving to number 84, Catalano Motorsports Troyer for Catalano Motorsports. 20 years old from Ontario, New York, Tyler Catalano. Starting 9th, driving to number 54, FX Capara Troyer for Catalano Motorsports. 26 years old from Ontario, New York, Tommy Catalano. And the lights are back on the pace car. Starting 8th, driving to number 56, Catalano Motorsports Troyer for Catalano Motorsports. 17 years old from Ontario, New York, Trevor Catalano. And starting 7th, driving to number 22, Chalou Performance MTT Munz Auto Fury for Kyle Bonsignor. 35 years old from Bayshore, New York, Kyle Bonsignor. Starting 6th, driving to number 46, Riverhead Building Supply Fury for Goody Racing. 29 years old from Miller Place, New York, Craig Lutz. Starting 5th, driving to number 1, Fleetworks Inc. LFR for RGMAZ. 31 years old from Orchard Park, New York, Patrick Emmerling. Starting 4th, driving to number 64, G&G Electrical Supply, Dell Electric, Lumiere Electrical, Andrew James Interiors, Hughes Motors, AP Marquardt & Sons Troyer for KLM Motorsports. 21 years old from Northampton, Pennsylvania, Austin Beers. Starting 3rd, driving to number 3, Propane Plus, Lynn's Propane Trucks Bowler for Bowler's Racing Equipment. 21 years old from Rehoboth, Massachusetts, Jake Johnson. Starting 2nd, driving number 51, Phoenix Communications Inc. Fury for Kenneth Massa Motorsports. 36 years old from Holtzville, New York, 2016 Fall and 2023 New Hampshire winner Justin Bonsignor. And on pole, number 16, Blue Mountain Machine Future Homes Fury for Hate You Know Racing. It's Ron Silk, 100 laps at New Hampshire. We're green.
And Bonsignor to bring them to green.
That was weird. Bonsignor on the inside lane takes the lead from Ron Silk to start. Jake Johnson moves to the inside of Ron Silk to battle for second.
He's the defending race winner of this event a year ago.
Ron Silk, by the way, the pole sitter. He's won here 3 times. The 2009 fall race, the 2011 fall race, and the 2019 summer race.
Tire tracks to the outside. The young driver Jake Johnson driving Old Blue, winner at Monadnock Speedway.
Silk back
for
to
his first
second.
career win just a couple of
And he
weeks
moves to
ago,
the inside of Bonsignor.
Bonsignor
led the first lap. Silk going to take the lead now into one.
He'll try to make the pass down into turn
Beers
one.
now moves into third place as Emmerling to fourth. No, he's not. That's not Emmerling.
Turn 2, Silk takes it right back, and Bonsignor wants
Bonsignor back to the inside.
Even down to the bottom of turn number 3, sweeps out in front and takes over the
Johnson,
top spot.
Jake Johnson moves back to fourth. The car I saw was Craig Lutz, the 46. That was the car I thought had gone to fourth.
Back to the point.
Silk moves back to the inside as Bonsignor leads lap 2. Here comes Beers with a push to Bonsignor.
The inside lane, and he will take back the top
They've
spot.
swapped the lead on every front stretch and back stretch so far.
He backs it up a little bit, gets to the accelerator quickly off turn 2, and he looks to the inside.
Bonsignor moves back to the inside. It's like a pendulum.
He needs to make that pass once again down into 3, and he shoots it down in there deep. Makes the pass, goes back to the point, but no doubt only
Kyle Bonsignor has moved up to 5th place now, getting around Craig Lutz.
That's a cousin of the
Top
race
4
leader,
running
Justin
single
Bonsignor.
file.
He's on the bottom of the outside
Kyle
lane draft,
stuck on the inside on his own. Now he looks like he might fall back because now he's behind Lutz, running side by side with. Yeah, that's Tommy Catalano. Or no, it's Tyler. It's Trevor. Damn, why do they all sound the same?
Looking inside in turn 3.
This time Silk has the inside down the back
Gets
stretch.
ahead. Austin
He takes
Beers
the lead.
riding in the 3rd spot, closes in on Bonsignor.
Yeah, Beers has a great view of this, and no doubt learns a little when he watches these other guys when they make the move, and he too would like to pull out a line and make a pass.
The draft stakes down into turns 1 and 2. Now, it's a little different than the stock car style draft you might see at Daytona, Talladega, or Atlanta.
Bonsignor moving out to the inside.
Make such a big hole in the air that the draft is on all day long as Bonsignor goes back to the point.
Yeah, just as he's done several times, gets around the inside of Silk and goes back to the lead as they head out of 4 and across the stripe to complete another lap in the Mohegan Sun 100.
5 laps
If you follow
in.
modified racing, you know that there is no love lost between Justin Bonsignor and Ron Silk. Ron Silk, his crew chief, one of his best friends, is the crew chief for Justin Bonsignor in that 51 car. And they know each other well, and they've had their battles over the years for the championship. And there's more already still on the racetrack now. Patrick Emmerling is on the move. He looks to the inside and completes the pass over Tommy Catalano.
Just like we've seen up at the front, right there in the middle of the pack, some passes making news here, like Emmerling, who moved to the inside and made that move, still in that mid-pack draft.
Keep your eye on potentially Ryan Priest. He was the fastest car in practice.
He rides 7th at the moment. You see how close they are with Tommy Catalano in that 54. Now Tyler Ripkema diving to the inside
trying to get around
trying to pick up a spot
and
on both
Catalano, Patrick Emmerling.
and Emmerling as they come off turn 4.
Yeah,
not able to complete the pass though. Almost like Doug Coby might get the run on him.
But Ripkema just can't get the momentum out of the turn, and now he gets passed by Coby.
You see the value of the draft as Ripkema just gets freight trained after trying to make that move. Great job by Tyler Catalano, I should say.
The reason like it's just my face. I'm trying to find a
Patrick
race
Emmerling
center.
and pick up the spot just outside the top 5, riding 7th.
Yeah, Ripkema trying to find a spot where he can get back up into the draft. He's doing a good job to hang with those guys on the inside, but nothing's opening up for him on the top.
See Doug Coby in the 7 New York running a Bugsy Stevens tribute scheme, and there's smoke coming out of the 7 New York of Coby as he goes through turns 1 and 2. It started billowing.
One of the best modified drivers of all time. He's won 6 titles, but that could spell disaster early for the Tommy Baldwin team.
There goes Emmerling again with another pass.
Ron Silk going to lead at the line if he finished lap number 9.
Being chased by Bonsignor, Beers, and Johnson as it has been since the start.
Out in front, you see Ron Silk leading the way. Justin Bonsignor, 5 cars packed tightly together off turn number 2 in that lead draft. Kyle Bonsignor, he was making moves early on, and he was trying to hang on to that draft among the lead cars, but he has since slid back a little bit. The 7 New York
back to the point.
He
leads lap 10.
The right side.
No doubt a lot of discussion going on between the crew
and pushing there, but now we have caution.
What that issue may be, keeping an eye on the gauges as they race down into turn 1.
I mean,
and we've got
number
the
28.
Caution is out. There's a car stopped along the back straightaway. It's Mike Marshall. Who has made contact with the outside safety barrier here.
Well, one of the older
drivers. 3/4 of the way down the back straightaway at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Mike making his second Whelen modified tour start. Made a start at Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park earlier in the year as part of Icebreaker weekend in April. But his car now in the outside wall. Very tight quarters racing here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway in the draft, and everybody on the loud pedal here now. 10 laps in
with a Troyer chassis.
Today.
Yeah, heavy damage there to the right side of the
and the lowest
MLM
starting of the
Diagnostics.
Troyers.
28 for Mike Marshall, and a tough break to be out this early.
There
Let's
essentially
take a
are
look at
3 main manufacturers of chassis: Troyer, Fury Race Cars, and LFR. Fury is the most popular. The top 2 in the championship: Justin Bonsignor and Ron Silk. Well, Silk's the points leader by 16. They both use Furies. They're, LFR, right now the best running is, I think, Patrick Emmerling. And Troyer's, Catalano's all run 1. So does, I think, 4th in points, Austin Beers. Other teams make their own. Bowler's Racing Equipment has the Bowler Racing chassis. Tommy Baldwin and the only drivers running the PSR chassis are the Tommy Baldwin team and Luke Baldwin. And a couple run Chevrolet chassis. I don't know how they get those, but they have those. Either you run one of the big 3 manufacturers, you somehow you get a Chevrolet chassis, or you make your own. Also, I've been eating a couple of carrots. It's basically my breakfast and lunch for today. And as this is going on, with qualifying for the we're back yet.
On the back straightaway, that car has since been cleared off the racetrack, and many of the modified faithful out here on the hill, one of the most popular places to watch along the back straightaway here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, enjoying the action here on this early morning. Camping here at this racetrack, always very, very full. The parking lots are full, even with the weather in the area, and the faithful are here to see open wheel modified competition. And Pete, so far, several lead changes among two of the veterans of the series with Justin Bonsignore and Ron Silk. They've been up on the wheel for the first 10 laps of green flag competition.
Yeah, we talked about early on some of the guys that were starting in the back because we did not have typical qualifying. Guys that we saw that were fast in practice yesterday, but because of lining up according to the rule book, they ended up going to the back. One of them is Matt Swanson in the 89. He had started back in the 20th spot. He is up to 11th and seems to be among the best of the guys that we saw fast in practice yesterday and have to come from the back. So he advanced quite a few spots in the first 10 laps of this race.
Doug Coby in that 7 New York is back down on pit lane. Coby, a 4-time winner at New Hampshire Motor Speedway and a 6-time Whelen Modified Tour champion. Certainly a Hall of Fame driver when it comes to modified competition. They've got the hood off on that 7 New York. They're looking on the right side to see whether or not they can determine, is it a leak, is what is going on that's creating the smoke for that 7 New York. Now, the car owner for that car is Tommy Baldwin. His son, Luke Baldwin, is driving the 38 car today for a different team and making his debut. This is a team that is very, very well respected. Dave Lewis there with Robert Yates Racing Engines on the right side of that race car, trying to see if they could diagnose exactly what the issue is. And they've got wrenches in hand as Doug Coby now goes down one lap, sitting on pit lane here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. A tough break for Doug. He's got 4 wins here, but it's been 8 years since his last one in 2016. And he was right in the mix in a photo finish in this event 1 year ago. But certainly now with problems on pit road, as it looks like they're going to try to take the valve cover off that right side of that 7 New York to see if they can determine maybe they dropped a valve on that engine.
Yeah, and they're ready to slap the hood back on as soon as they can. Interesting paint scheme on that car as they salute the great Bugsy Stevens, who passed away just a couple of weeks ago at the age of 90. Bugsy, the 3-time NASCAR national champion, and of course a big star in the early days of the modifieds. Thus the paint scheme saluting the great Bug Stevens on the Tommy Baldwin Jr. number 7.
And a great tribute that was held at the Seekonk Speedway, the last race on tour for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, celebrating Bugsy. His entire family, all the fans and the race teams lined around the outside of the Concrete Palace and had the opportunity to honor Bugsy Stevens one last time on track. So, field is now doubled up on the back straightaway, getting set to go. They'll see lap 17 when they come across the granite stripe of the 100 here today for the Mohegan Sun 100. The front row will have Ron Silk on the bottom. Justin Bonsignore, the race leader. We've seen the strength of the outside lane. He has decided the top lane. Now, unlike the National Series, it's only the front row that can decide whether or not they want to start on the inside or the outside. Justin Bonsignore, race leader, chose the outside. Everybody else, odd number of positions on the bottom, even number of positions on the outside. No choose rule in the Whelen Modified Tour. Pace car hits the apron down at turns 3 and 4, ready to get back after it here at the Magic Mile with Justin Bonsignore and Ron Silk on the front row.
All right.
Green flag back in the air, and they're side by side across the stripe and down into turn 1.
Back to
Silk
back
sweeping
green.
up in front, using
Ron
that bottom
Silk
lane of the racetrack.
leading right now.
Austin
Beers looking to the bottom, trying to get to third place.
Just does not have
Bonsignore, is he going to make the move on the back stretch? Yes, he does. He pulls out. Going to take the inside lane.
That
Down to
outside
3 and 4 to take back the lead.
Particularly coming out of the turn and
These two are going
firing
to be
down the
swapping.
straightaway. And that evident again
maybe
by
100 times
Bonsignore able
more
to sweep underneath
the next
and make the
100
pass
laps.
as they head down the front stretch.
Austin Beers rather, falling back on the inside of the track. That moves Trevor Catalano in the 56 car inside the top 4, but now they're 3 wide for a moment, getting through turns 1 and 2. They sort it out.
That is some close racing as again we look for another pass for the lead, and that's the case down into turn 3. There's Silk with the move as he's done several times in this race already. Makes the move on the inside, sweeps past Bonsignore to go back to the point.
A tight pack comes across the line again. Silk, Bonsignore, Jake Johnson. And you've got Trevor Catalano in 4th, and Kyle Bonsignore, who's rallied back inside the top 5 to ride there in 5th in the 22 car.
And you can see the hassle with being on the inside
Beers
as
falling back
to Austin Beers.
Plummeting to the field. Bonsignore makes the move back to the inside.
Can't get back up into
Trevor
the draft.
Catalano has moved up to 4th position.
Talk about cars that are on the move. Look at the car who rides in 6th. That's Eric Goodale in the 58 machine.
Oh.
Goodale has had a rough season.
I thought it was going to be Salamito in the car.
With his cousin.
But no, it's Eric Goodale. My mistake.
For a couple of races. They made wholesale changes to their approach coming into this race. Eric's been extremely frustrated. He's driven from 15th up to 6th. So far in this race, his car looks better than it has all season.
And he's always been
so unable to make a move down the backstretch that
time.
time.
Get to the front.
As we've now completed 20 laps.
This Mohegan Sun 100. He's got plenty of time to work his way to the point.
And those pit stops that we saw under that one and only caution allowed the field to shuffle quite a bit, brought some of the drivers that were at the tail end of the field forward, including Luke Baldwin and Ryan Preece, who you see working through turns 1 and 2 to the back straightaway. The yellow 38, Luke Baldwin, making his debut. Ryan Preece, 26-time winner of the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, directly behind in the 40 car.
And that lead pack again, led by Bonsignor as they head off the 4th turn and down across the stripe. Everybody settled in, just following in the draft at this point.
Can't say enough about the driver of that 56 car riding in 4th, Trevor Catalano. First time seeing this racetrack. He's had 6 events this year, been in the top 5 twice, came home 12th at Seekonk. These big racetracks, he's done really well. You go back to the race at Richmond earlier in the year, he came home 3rd. Did Trevor Catalano. He's been such a bright young talent as a young man, with the 3 Catalano brothers all competing in the Whelen Modified Tour here this season, and he's been the bright spot of this team. And very impressive to see how quickly, as a rookie, he's adapted to modified racing at this level.
Yeah, he's got the family bragging rights for sure so far in 2024. Let's see what he can do with the rest of this race.
And meanwhile, at Catalunya,
they stake their way down the back
The drivers that were eliminated
turns 3
were
and 4
from Q1
mostly
or
flat turns here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Kevin
you see these
Magnuson
modifieds run that 3rd groove. That's where the banking is about 7 degrees. And these modifieds, you can drive them a lot deeper than you can the heavier stock cars that we'll see later in the race weekend.
Alex Albon for Williams and Logan Sargent for Williams.
Just out of that upper groove and gets past, trying to get back
going
up into the
double wide on the backstretch. Later, farther back in the pack, you see Sam Ramo next to
Andy Jankowiak pulls that car
89.
down to the attention of his crew, the Steve Mendoza.
Don't remember off the top of my head who that is.
You see some good action here. There's Matt Swanson in the number 89 car, back up front. Silk able to
now
get back ahead of
Bonsignor. Will he make a move again? Of course he does.
Straightaway. Bonsignor will cross him up again, midway down the back straightaway, and try to jump that out in front. 6 cars in that lead draft has now got about 20 car lengths back to the 7th place machine as they continue to try to create some distance back to Ryan Preece, who rides by himself in 7th.
Yeah, they keep trading the lead off back and forth between the 51 and the 6. It looks like work. It looks like it's nerve-wracking, but they'll tell you it's a blast the way they go back and forth to the lead like that.
Here's Silk again to challenge to the bottom for the lead. A little bit deeper in the pack, though. We continue to watch some great action, too. There's good action up front with Silk charging to the front. You see good action in that battle between Tyler Ripkema in the 32, Luke Baldwin in the 38. Good action everywhere you look here, and that's what this race is about. You can pick many battles that certainly can find intriguing. The subplot, the stories beneath every one of them. And that's the excitement
last year when he never won.
Starting to get some separation now in that lead pack as you see the front 3.
Still holding on to the lead as Bonsignor was looking for something on the backstretch.
4th place runner.
Bonsignor went to the outside that time.
Just then, Silk moving to the bottom of the racetrack.
Kyle Bonsignor now up to 4th by Trevor Catalano.
Slip underneath to make
Tyler
the pass,
Catalano.
So follow each other nose and tail across the stripe.
Tommy Catalano.
This is one of the few laps that they haven't been trying to
car
swap
in
the
that
lead here.
All right.
On one end of
What
the
is that?
track
No, is that Austin Beers?
Slight advantage as they exit turn 2.
No, sorry, that is the 58 Goodale.
Run will dart down to the bottom, midway down the back stretch, and put that 51 back in the top spot. Behind them, Eric Goodale is challenging for the 5th spot.
Right now,
a moment ago, Kyle Bonsignor moved into 4th. Trevor Catalano now back to 5th, and Eric Goodale trying to take that spot away, but can't do it as they come across the granite stripe.
Yeah, went down on the inside, trying to make the pass, and just lost the lead. Some of the momentum.
This will be the 30th lap complete.
And part of that lead freight train, if you will, on the backstretch.
And Ryan Preece now lurking within 6 car lengths of that lead draft of 6 cars as he closes in now 2 car lengths, now 1. It's a 7-car lead pack at the front.
The 7th car.
Out in front,
what is that
Preece
7th car? I'm trying to keep track of. It's because now it is.
To ride in line at this
he's a
point
fair distance away, but he's caught up. It's Priest. It's Ryan Priest. 100. The 2013 modified champion.
Down the backstretch.
Ryan Priest, the
got
40
one
car,
win at New
started
Hampshire,
21st today.
He won
last driver to win from 21st was John Blewett the third. He did it in 2006, but Mike Stefanik in 1998 won this race from the 40th position, so it can be done, especially
Priest
with the
started
draft.
21st.
Priest has just about erased any deficit he had at the start of this race, 31 laps in to find himself in the lead.
In 8th place seems like he's really in as Kyle Monsignor loses this. No, sorry, that was
for the fourth spot.
Tyler Trevor Catalano
down the
who lost a spot.
Kyle Monsignor solidly in the
so he's been swapping positions with Kyle Monsignor.
Goodale was trying to see if he could get underneath Kyle Monsignor. The back straightaway just wasn't quite close enough. It didn't have the momentum that time through to pull alongside Trevor Catalano. Things calming down a little bit here at the front for the moment as Silk closes into the back of Justin Bonsignor, but he didn't decide to challenge. And you know, Pete, you get to this point in the race where they tested the waters for 25 laps or so, and they know what they have in their race car. They know what their opponent has in their race car, and all those things go back into the memory bank as we get towards the finish at the end of this race in 100 laps.
Yeah, the guy who's probably picked up the most as far as information goes is Jake Johnson, running in third.
Right now, it's the top three have broken away from the cars behind them.
The lead back
the
and
gap
forth
has definitely
times.
increased. Now we have
So
lap
he
traffic.
knows what's
There's
working
Gary
for them.
McDonald, the oldest driver in the
Ready to
field,
make the pounds
puttering
to
around.
be
They
able to
pass
do
him.
so, as he's hanging on the back bumper of Ron Silk down the backstretch.
Jake Johnson has been so impressive here now in a full-time season in that 3-car. And he's been fun to watch riding there in third. He sits third in points, won that first race at Monadnock Speedway earlier this season.
Farther back, we got Craig Lutz and
very
Austin
similar to the
Beers.
spot that we saw Austin Beers into the 64 a year ago. He had a great run at Seekonk, led to the late going, and then a late race restart closed everybody up, and he got beat by one of the best in the business, Matt Hirschman, especially.
Now, Monsignor, he's the current leader as Ron Silk pushing him down the back straightaway. He is one win away from tying Ted Christopher, who won 42 races from 1999 to 2011. The late, great Ted Christopher.
Got right up on the back bumper of Bonsignor, making his presence known as we continue to watch this battle with Beers leading that short little freight train down into turn number
Ted
1.
Christopher
this is a battle for 10th.
won
Austin
the
Beers
2008
and he started in the 4th position today. Only his third start in the Wheel Modified Tour competition, but they run open modified shows here once a year, and Austin had an opportunity to run some of those, finished in the top 3, got more experience drafting, but this is not a track that he has a tremendous amount of experience at. And it's no surprise to see veterans up front because of the skill it takes to be able to get used to how these cars drive in the draft.
Now
it's not going to drive like the stock car because the big tires that they have in the front
but
of these
actually,
cars.
no, Jake Johnson has passed Ron Silk. Silk back to third.
Lutz and Beers trying to hook up together and get back to that lead pack. They've been pretty spread out at this point.
While we were talking about Austin Beers, Jake Johnson has gone by Ron Silk to move into second.
No, that's 6.
And Justin Bonsignor starting to do what he did a year ago. We saw a race that had a long green flag run at the beginning, and Justin
Johnson, Ron Silk,
walked
Kyle
away
Monsignor,
from the rest of the field
Eric Goodale,
little. I asked him yesterday, and I said, "Is that what you want to do, or do you need to back into everybody else so that way you don't get
Trevor
so far ahead
Catalano
that you
or
use
it's
all your
Trevor
equipment up?" He said,
Catalano.
"Honestly, if I can
falling
break
a ways
free of the
back.
pack and not have to worry about somebody challenging me for the lead,
has moved
like
up
we've
to
seen over the
8th
first
place.
37 laps of this one,
number
I'm going to
70
do
car.
that." And you could already start to see Justin Bonsignor trying his best to stretch his legs and open it up, but you see drivers like Jake Johnson staying right with him, drivers like Kyle Bonsignor, who moves into third. They want to stay right with this lead pack and not let Justin walk away from everybody else.
Yeah, he got around Ron Silk pretty quick to take over that third spot. Would like
falling
to catch
back.
up to
so
those
now
first two
Craig
and
Lutz
get
has
back
caught
into
up.
that
Well,
draft
Austin
as
Beers,
they
they're catching
race
up to the
down
back
front
of the
stretch.
pack.
Ryan Priest
Andy
is
Seiss
starting
back
to go
in 9th.
backwards
Priest
in
back
that
to
40 car.
10th place.
He had raced up to 7th.
I think. No,
He
he's back in
appears to be
12th.
off the pace as he
He's
rolls
falling
down
even further back.
into turn number 1.
Jake Johnson
Jake
now takes the
he's
lead
not
at New
off the
Hampshire.
pace. He takes the race lead, so lots happening here as Johnson goes
But
in
Monsignor gets a run down the back stretch, looking to hold on to the lead.
And Ryan Priest off the pace.
Yeah,
he
Johnson,
gets it.
Knowing what he had,
The 40
made
cars.
that move on
Now
Bonsignor,
family run,
at least
continuing
a
to
test
fall
for
back through the
getting to
field.
front, as Bonsignor is able to make the pass again in 3 and 4 and get back to the point.
You see Ryan Priest on the right side of your screen there was up to 7th. He's now 12th. He's still out on track. The doesn't have the pace that he once had as he looks to get past here once again. Chase Dowling in the 44 car, the Tinio family car here this weekend. It appears as though possibly under power for that 40 car of Ryan Preece as he is limping around the racetrack here, well off the pace, and he's going to come down pit lane. He drops to the inside in turn number 3. Ryan Preece on the apron will head for pit road to try and diagnose the problems
now on the apron,
yeah, that's a tough
heading
one.
into pit road.
He had some speed yesterday in practice and had led those guys that had to start in the back, the way he had moved his way up almost to the lead draft, but now heading to pit road for a problem on that number 40.
So 41 laps in, Ryan Preece on pit road, and the caution flag now out. One car slow on the front straightaway. It's Gary McDonald, and his car limping across the line, continues to roll on. Justin
Gary
Bonsignore
McDonald
comes across the line in the 51
under,
car,
slow
and will
car.
take that yellow flag.
That
42 laps in, second caution of the day in the Mohegan Sun 100 here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Justin Bonsignore is shown as the race leader.
So yeah, but 26 car is still going.
Lasting 4
So
times
I don't know what the problem was. The problem was.
Castrol Edge extended performance now lasts for 25,000.
Anyway, now we're under caution. All right, so back to at Catalunya. Let's see, bottom 5. Bottas, Alonso, Hamilton, Stroll, and Joe. They gotta fix that. So, I mean, they gotta make sure that 44 car is gonna be good to go. Interestingly, when I think about Formula racing, they never use the numbers to describe the cars. So the cars that were eliminated in Q1, Magnussen is number 20, Tsunoda number 22, Ricciardo number 3, Albon number 23, and Sargent number 2. Formula racing is also different, considering that driver, at least in Formula 1, maybe MotoGP 2, where drivers get to choose their numbers. Yeah, no, they've always get they get to choose their numbers. Only car on track right now is Lance Stroll. They've got 4 minutes left in Q2. Again, bottom 5 will be eliminated, leaving the top 10 to run for the pole. Both Alpines in the top 10. Actually, I'm looking at. I'm not sure that the Saubers have ever made it to Q3 this year. Excuse me. The Stake F1 team Kick Sauber. Oh God, I hate these names. Like having title sponsors in the name, I think. It doesn't roll off the tongue. Like Williams Racing, MoneyGram Haas Racing Team, Visa Cash App Racing Bulls F1 Team, Aston Martin Aramco F1 Team, Stake F1 Team Kick Sauber, BWT Alpine F1 Team, Mercedes AMG Petronas F1 Team, Scuderia Ferrari HP, McLaren F1 Team, and Oracle Red Bull Racing. I mean, this has been a long-standing thing. Yeah, people like Benson and Hodges, Jordan F1 Team, Marlboro Scuderia Ferrari. Even in IndyCar, it was Target Chip Ganassi and Marlboro Team Penske. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, pit stops going off. I think the leaders have pit. I see Ron Silk getting serviced. Anyway, most of the field now on out laps. Just Verstappen, Norris, and the 2 Ferrari. Max Verstappen, Lando Norris, and the 2 Ferraris staying on pit road.
This is a couple of spots on pit road as a result.
Yeah, another long pit stop for Matt Swanson, too, who's been down on pit road for a while.
2 minutes
and
to
he'll
go.
Be back a few spots when they come back out to join the field.
Now, the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, you cannot take fuel and tires on the same pit stop. So those drivers like Patrick Emmerling, Kyle Bonsignore, Austin Beers, they decided to take fuel on their first stop. Then when there's more room on pit road, they'll come in and they'll get their tires. So they're coming in now the second time to grab tires on those race cars, and we'll see how it all shakes out as the race goes on. However, some teams, like Ron Silk, have decided to stay out and not come back in and get the fuel. So that's certainly going to go ahead and change that running order and lineup. So by taking that little extra security and splash of fuel for Emerling, Bonsignor, and Beers, along with Tim Conley, they're going to give up a whole host of track position among the cars that decided to stay out here and take tires only.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I'm sure the caution laps will figure into the fuel mileage thing. At the beginning of the show, we talked about the fact that the window is about 90 laps, be 10 laps short, certainly if they were at speed for the whole thing. So don't know whether that figures into their equation or not, but we'll have to see. In the meantime, they got great track position as they'll line up right behind the pace car.
Well, we've had a couple of cautions
30 seconds
two
left in
cautions
Q2.
so far.
Lance
and
Stroll
this
still
is one
on
of those
pit road.
races that if you get enough cautions, you can probably go 105 laps or so. And there are some teams and crew chiefs that had told me earlier today that they've got some things in their race car that allow.
I won't play the audio for Catalunya because there'll probably a copyright strike, as F1 loves doing that. That's why I can't do top 100 closest Formula 1 finishes. But all right, Lance Stroll probably not going to make it. Neither is never mind the not going to make. Never mind the neither is. Okay, Gasly goes to 7th fastest. He might have one more lap. Might have. Time is now run out. Everyone must finish the lap they're on. Checo to P7. He's been out in Q1 the last 2 races, which is never a good thing. Hamilton now moves to 2nd fastest. So he's probably out of danger. It's the 2 Aston Martins and the 2 Saubers at risk. And Hulkenberg. Alonso moves to 11th fastest. Not fast enough. George Russell to 3rd fastest. So both Aston Martins will be out of Q2. Which you think about the progress they made last year. They were not able to sustain it, and which is just sad. But both Alpines could make it out. It depends on the Saubers and Hulkenberg. Bottas doesn't improve. He's out. Zhou is out. And it looks like Hulkenberg might be out too. Yes, Hulkenberg doesn't improve, so out is the number 14 of Fernando Alonso, the number 77 of Valtteri Bottas for Aston Martin and Sauber respectively. Nico Hulkenberg for the number 27 for Haas, Lance Stroll the number 18 for Aston Martin, and the number 24 of Zhou Guanyu for Sauber. All right. Now, back to New Hampshire.
On the inside of the 79 car.
Pace car leads them through turns 3 and 4 and peels off onto pit road. We get ready for the restart as they come around to complete 47 laps.
Green flag flies from New Hampshire, and they are dead even across the line. Eric Goodale.
All right, here we go again.
Justin Bonsignor into turn number 1.
Goodale takes the lead.
Goodale to the race lead for the first time today. Now Silk to the inside. Justin Bonsignor on the back straightaway.
Between Bonsignor and Silk. Here comes, is that Luke Baldwin going to 3rd place? It is.
Bonsignor to get out of the throttle, but he's able to
holding on to 2nd as Silk falls back now to
those guys charging up behind him.
We're fighting to hold on to that spot.
Luke Baldwin in the 38 machine takes sole possession of 3rd. Ron Silk and John McKennedy backpedaling on the inside lane of the racetrack.
Man,
to the
Silk back to 6th place now. 4th being owned by number 54 of Tommy Catalano and Trevor Catalano in 5th. 6th place now is Craig Lutz. Silk now at the 7th position.
Those cars down on the
now Silk's forced to go side by side with Jake Johnson, the driver who's fighting for the lead before the restart. This lap complete now will be halfway through the race, so now it will be official. Can Bonsignor make a move? He goes to the inside out of the enter turn 1. He'll take the lead from Eric Goodale.
Inside down into turn 1, he's able to make the pass. Goodale tries to.
Oh, we got a wreck. It's John McKennedy.
The caution flag is out.
Caution is out for the 3rd time today here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. 50 laps in. Jake Johnson in trouble over in turn 2.
And so is John McKennedy right up against the wall in that number 79. has obviously done damage to the
Who's the
right
89?
front.
I got to
Those
double
two guys
check.
battling for position, and it looks like at least McKennedy's day will be done. Johnson was able to drive away from it.
So past halfway, race official in the Mohegan Sun 100. John McKennedy stuffed in the outside wall in the middle of turns 1 and 2. And a tough break for him after a good drive from the back of the pack. Started 5th on that restart. And then problems later for Jake Johnson as he went spinning. Got stuck.
Let's see that
deeper
again.
in the pack by their pit strategy on pit road.
I see. It was
Another
Jake
look
Johnson.
at it here.
He got into the back
as
of
they go
I
down
think,
into the turn.
Johnson of Trevor Catalano.
Went up the racetrack.
See, when he tried to get back into the pack, he got in front of McKennedy.
McKennedy came together as they ran out of room, and that was a vicious hit for the 79 and John McKennedy. Both right side tires up in the air before coming to a stop there in the outside safer barrier.
Yeah, he took Emmerling by surprise, and Emmerling had nowhere to go but to run into the back of him. And that sent him sailing across the racetrack and into the wall. A very dejected John McKennedy climbs from the number 79. He had restarted in 5th spot. Thought maybe he had something here for the second half of the race, but his day is done.
Yeah, McKennedy from Chelmsford, Massachusetts, former champion of the series just a few years ago. His 100th start today. Not going to be holding the checkered and the trophy at the end of the day. Jake Johnson was able to continue on. He stayed out on the racetrack. He's now shown in the 19th position, so it was difficult to begin with. Now it's even more difficult for Jake Johnson as he's lost another handful of spots after that incident in turn 1.
Yeah, diagnosing that replay that we saw, it looked like he got shuffled out, and that's what started it all. They were all running pretty tight, and as he got shuffled out of line and up on the upper side of the racetrack, it was kind of the accordion effect behind them, and the end result was McKennedy in the wall. Here's another look at it as they head down into turn 1. There's Johnson,
that 3
almost
swing
like
out
get on the brakes
behind the 56, further back in the line, and then contact with the 79.
The rest of them piled on in.
It hurt.
It was odd
the
how
left
that
front
car
tire of
just
the
took
79.
off.
That's why
that he wasn't running
really
in the preferred line. The 3 car for Jake Johnson. You saw a bit of a puff of smoke as soon as he got on the brake, and the car just shot up the racetrack. And then you see Craig Lutz come into the bottom, trying to fill the hole to the inside. And when McKennedy, I think, probably assumed Johnson was going to stay up in that high groove, and when Johnson tried to gather it back up, the 3 of those cars just really ran out of real estate, and contact was made. And unfortunately for John McKennedy, he got the worst end of the deal and made hard contact between turns 1 and 2. But Johnson, I think he's going to be all right for the most part. He stayed out onto the racetrack, and let's see, pit road has been open for the past couple of laps, so looks like he'll be able to continue on without too much problem. So working the 3rd caution of the morning, 53 laps into the Mohegan Sun 100, getting closer to the finish here in the second half of this one from New Hampshire.
Cotton, single use, and biodegradable.
New Hampshire Motor Speedway, host of the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour on a, well, cloudy Saturday morning here in the Granite State. Field doubled up for the restart one more time in turns 3 and 4. Eric Goodale, the race leader, will opt to restart on the bottom lane of the racetrack. Justin Bonsignore has been up front all day long alongside as the pace car heads in. The field pours onto the front stretch.
They're shuffling all over the place, heading down into turn 1, 3 wide there for a moment as they race through the first and second turn, but Goodale trying to get away.
We're green again. Goodale holds on to the lead, or takes back the lead, excuse me.
As they hit the back straightaway,
Bonsignore moves back to the inside as he's always done. Right now it's Tommy Catalano in third, Luke Baldwin in fourth. Bonsignore takes the lead. Now it's the end of the got a wreck!
Up in the air through the
it was Craig Lutz. Is that Ron Silk?
Ron Silk. Also
championship implications potentially there. The 46
and
mutilated.
The caution flag is out, and there is Lutz hit on every corner in that 46 as he went for a wild ride atop the fence in turn 4.
Yeah, right up top. And Silk was able to drive away from that, so it'll be interesting to see whether he's able to stay out there or will go to pit road.
Craig Lutz rode the wall there. That was
definitely
bad.
Lutz has had hard luck
at
this track the last couple of years due to mechanical problems, engine woes. They had a car that looked pretty sporty today and came prepared. They've had a great season so far, but that is going to be a highlight reel moment that Craig Lutz would like to soon forget after his car airborne, contact through turns 3 and 4, rode the fence right along the top of the safer barrier for quite some time before coming back on all fours, just shy of the exit of turn 4 on the front straightaway.
Yeah, lucky he didn't end up upside down as the car came right back on all fours.
Let's see that again. Silk moved up,
watch the silver
spins.
Car. That's Ron Silk on the bottom. His car
he gets into the 46, and that knocks the 46 sideways on the turn 3-4 wall.
His car
46 just comes crashing
went airborne as they made contact with those open wheels, caught the outside safer barrier, and rode right up it.
And those
before he could even think about it, Lutz was almost in the middle of that other incident.
So the car that the 40 that
Kennedy
Ron
Jake
Silk
Johnson
nearly got into, I think it was one of the Catalano cars. I believe it was
back to the right.
Trevor
Craig Lutz,
Catalano.
the wrong place at the wrong time, and he got clobbered.
Absolutely. And as we said, Silk was able to drive away. He went down to the attention
of he's going to go to the back of the
crew
pack.
on pit road and is able to drive back out onto the racetrack.
But clearly that is
will be restarting towards the back. You can see damage to the Nerf bar on the right side of that number 16.
Championship implications and a great points opportunity for Justin Bonsignore.
Contact on the side, but when you hit that front tire there into the side of another race car, really, really hard to avoid damage there. Silk's car really took off on us. This is the second time we've seen that. Jake Johnson, and now on the other end, Ron Silk, that car just got out from underneath him there in turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, it seemed like it snapped, like almost that it wanted to spin, and as he corrected, and then it snapped to the outside, and he caught Lutz and ran him into the wall. So definitely a tough break, actually, for both of those guys, but Silk able to continue.
The track conditions here this weekend a little bit different than what these modified drivers are used to, because typically we'll have the rubber laid down from the NASCAR Xfinity Series or from the NASCAR Cup Series, depending on when the race is running. Think about if the race was run when it was originally scheduled later on today, you would have had Cup practice, you would have had Xfinity Series practice. And so, the track doesn't have all that rubber. It's got the Hoosier rubber on the racetrack, and we've seen a couple of cars skate around a little bit. Might be just a little looser than it usually is, just by the virtue of the weather and the schedule change of what we've had on track. Well, Tim Conley will come down pit road, get some tires. We're working the 4th caution of the day. This time, trouble for Ron Silk and Craig Lutz up in turn 4.
Cotton, single use, and biodegradable.
40 laps remain in the Mohegan Sun 100 at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Craig Lutz, lots of damage to that 46 car, is on the rollback, headed back towards the
Cars
NASCAR
and
Whelen Modified Tour
stones.
Garage.
All right,
and
going
his
green
day
next
is done
time.
after a heavy lick up in turns 3 and 4 with contact from Ron Silk and a wrong place, wrong time kind of crash for Craig Lutz as we work under the caution flag. The current race leader is Eric Goodale. Eric Goodale has had a dismal
like the
Whelen Modified Tour season. He came into the season and decided, I'm going to run part-time. I'm going to split this seat with a very successful modified driver named Timmy Salamito, both drivers out of Long Island, both from the same family.
Why is the 8 car of John
Timmy
Michael
has gone out there, and he hasn't had great runs in the 58 car either. They came in today.
Why is the
Chief
8 up
Jason
front?
Shepard, Eric Goodale said, we're going to go back to basics. We're going to take everything we know and just go back to what we ran 3 or 4 years ago in the Whelen Modified Tour, and that has seemed to work. Earlier this morning before the race, Eric Goodale was all smiles, and Pete, I can't think of the last time, certainly this season, and maybe even going back to last season, that I saw Eric Goodale smiling ear to ear before he got in his race car, and now we all know why.
Yeah, he knew he had something, that's for sure. So typical of any sport, back to fundamentals, and doing that with that car too, and it's proven to be the right move as he will restart from the front when we get back going again. We've got one more lap under caution before we get back to green flag racing.
There's a lot of film study that takes place in NASCAR competition. Just like any other sport,
John Michael Jeanette will get the free
or
pass.
NASCAR. Justin Bonsignore takes a different approach to this race here in New Hampshire. He's in that 51 car on the inside line. He said, for me, I don't look back at what happened before. Every race here is a little bit different. I know what I did.
3.5 minutes left in Q3. Verstappen to no shot.
I'll use that as my gauge for preparation. A big day today for Justin Bonsignore. Today he makes his NASCAR Xfinity Series debut for Joe Gibbs Racing in the number 19
it's
car.
weather dependent, and my bet is we don't get
lineup
going.
because of the weather here yesterday. He'll start 25th coming up at this racetrack a little later on in the afternoon. He'll go out there with no Xfinity practice, no Xfinity qualifying, and take the green flag for the first time here this afternoon from the 25th position. So he's got his hands full, but mission number 1 for Bonsignore is to defend that race win that he picked up here a year ago in a photo finish here across the granite stripe.
And his second place starting spot will be on the inside.
Car pulling in. It'll be 38 laps to go. It'll be lap 63
as they come to the green flag.
Toyota pace car.
Here we go again. We're green at New Hampshire.
Green flag. This time,
not a good start for Bonsignore as Goodale rockets back up front.
On the field in turn 1.
It's Tommy Catalano on the outside for going for second place, but Bonsignore powers back to take second place again. Actually, he's still side by side with Goodale, but no, Catalano back up to second. The other Catalano trying to go to third, but has to settle for fourth.
To the lead. And he said, I don't need to give Justin Bonsignore any drafting help. I'm going with the 58, and he now rides in second.
Yeah, he's able to pick up that spot, but
and that's Kyle just
right
moved
there
to
on the
fourth.
back bumper takes a peek to the
sorry,
inside.
it's not. It's still Trevor Catalano. Ron Silk, let's see where he ended up. He's in 18th right now. We could probably work his way through
Catalano runs second.
Field,
Justin Bonsignore now third. You go back to Trevor Catalano, his youngest
fifth
brother,
place, Luke Baldwin. Sixth place,
you've got three
is that Bobby Santos? No, it's not Bobby
Santos. Never
Santos.
won a race, and they're here on the biggest stage.
It's I think the 44. I just remember who's in. Chase Dowling.
To the front after that altercation a couple of cautions ago. Gets around the outside of Patrick.
Jake Johnson back in the top 10.
Right there too in the 32.
Justin Bonsignore to second ahead of Tommy Catalano. Now it's Chase down Goodale. Moves to the inside. It's where he's made all his passes basically into turn 3, and he gets the lead. Bonsignore leads with 36 to go.
Eric Goodale, he'll settle back in line as they come
about
to the
a minute left of Q3 at Catalunya.
That time, able to maintain the second spot. And
drivers making their final laps
into turn 1, and not close enough to challenge
Whoa,
the lead.
there's a contact there between Chase Dowling
for the 4th spot,
and
into the
Luke Baldwin
lane. This
as
is
Dowling goes to 4th. Sam Rameau up to 6th right now. Trevor Catalano's continuing to fall back. He's in 7th. Right behind of Kyle Bonsignore and a bright yellow car that I don't recognize.
2018 went out and won that for his first
Anthony
and only
Nocella,
modified tour victory, and he's done it before. Now
oh, we got a Emmerling flat, and he smacks the wall in turn 1. Caution is out.
Trouble in turn 1 for Andy Seiss. hard hit for him off the end of the
Sorry,
first straightaway.
Andy Seiss, excuse me.
Yeah, and he's
it looked like the one
had
car.
A good run going here this
but
afternoon,
no, it is the
this
70
morning,
car, Andy Seiss.
He had started in the back and worked his way up towards the front.
And on that note, we got, so now we're going to under caution again, but I got to focus now because we got only a couple seconds left in Q3. Everyone finishing their final laps. Let's see how they go. Carlos Sainz goes second fastest. You know, we think he could make another run. Here comes Charles Leclerc to the line. He goes second fastest, and he's done. Piastri unable to make a time. He will start 10th on the day. Here comes Verstappen coming to the final 10 seconds of his lap or so. He had a purple sector 2. That means it's the fastest of the day. He's got a 1:11.673. This time it's a 1:11.403. Now 3/10 ahead. And Andy Seiss mad at whatever car, I guess, got into him. He was, I think, giving the finger. Lando Norris is ahead of Verstappen at the moment as he continues on his run. Because Norris had a purple sector 2. To the final turn. Here comes Lando. Can he take pole away from the Dutchman? Yes, he does. 1:11.383. So there's the replay of Andy Seiss. I didn't see who got into him. Hamilton now across the line. He goes to third fastest ahead of both Ferraris. George Russell is fourth behind his teammate. So Austin Beers is the car that got into him. Yeah, you can see that he clipped him on the left rear panel, so that caused him to swing right, and he couldn't correct it. That's I'm talking about Andy Seiss. Anyway, Lando Norris gets the pole at Barcelona, Catalunya. All right, so that does it for that qualifying session. They're hauling away that number 70. Later today, we have an Indy Next race at Laguna Seca, which again I will stream if we don't have a rain out for Xfinity. Red flag at New Hampshire. Wonderful. Safer barrier damage, so they due to Andy Seiss's wreck, so they have to fix it. I think I'm gonna watch Indy Next qualifying at 12 o'clock, followed by probably the Michelin Pilot Challenge race at Watkins Glen. It's a 2-hour race. So this could be a while, unfortunately. Playing a game called Dynamite Heady. It came out on the Sega Genesis. He plays a puppet who uses his head as an attack, and he can get different power-ups for his head. Well, it's a decent enough game. I like trying new stuff. play basketball using that. Got to bounce the balls into moving sets of nets. Got to get 20 points. Because if you win the minigame 4 times over the course of the game, you get a password to access a special final level. Because I only just found out about it. I know the level exists. I have no idea what it's like. Points. Points. Points, 10 points. One of the rings has a devil marking. There are two basketball shooters. If you get a basket in one of those, it blows up one of the basketball shooters. So you don't want that to happen, because if you lose both basketball shooters or die or hit cancel, because there are bombs being thrown. If you either die from the bombs, hit two of the devil, hit 2 shots in the devil baskets, or hit hit A to cancel. In this case, the Y button on Switch. The mini game ends. So the only feasible way to get out of it is to get enough goals. I need 20 points. 11. 12. 13. Okay, they're showing the replay again. Austin Beers getting...
What happened going down into turn number 1? Austin Beers got into the back of Andy Seiss off the end of the front straightaway, and that right front pushed right into the wall for Andy Seiss out of Hampstead, New Hampshire, ending his day with a hard hit in turn 1.
Yeah, it looks like he might have actually punched a hole in the wall, and that's what they want to repair. Yes, there's some give to that wall. It is a safer barrier, but that doesn't mean that once it's done with its give, there isn't a chance to rip it up, and that's the case, as you pointed out, the welder down there trying to fill the opening in the wall. So we'll wait till that gets done before we turn them loose, and some drivers taking advantage of this caution flag to get on pit road.
Among them, Tyler Ripkema is down on pit lane. Back in is Tim Conley. We see the Tyler Catalano 84, John Michael Sinet, and Ken Hagee all coming down pit road to get some service here today while we've got a little bit of time here as the laps wind down under the caution flag here in the Whelen Modified Tour Mohegan Sun 100. The NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour has got a busy summer schedule as the summer rolls on. Next race will mark the halfway point. It'll be here in the state of New Hampshire. It'll be off to the Monadnock Speedway up in Winchester, New Hampshire. It's the Duel at the Dog.
200.
Saturday, July 20th, Monadnock Speedway. Lancaster Motorplex up in Western New York on August 6th. Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park, one of the highlights of a Wednesday night program, August 14th, and Oswego Speedway on Labor Day weekend. The series continues on through Riverhead Raceway in September, Monadnock Speedway again, North Wilkesboro Speedway for the second year in a row. Back to Thompson in October for the World Series of Speedway Racing, and the champion will be crowned at the Martinsville Speedway in Virginia, where the winner will get one of those famed grandfather clocks, and that'll wrap up the 2024 NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour schedule.
Yeah, a lot to go yet, as a matter of fact. So, yeah, this race will be certainly a big boost to some of those guys that are fighting in the point standings, but get a long way to go here in the 2024 season.
Yeah, it's a lot going on, and we have seen, I think, some of the best racing of the Whelen Modified Tour in recent years. You go back to the race last time out at the Seekonk Speedway. Now here today at New Hampshire, we've seen multiple lead changes along the way. Unbelievable the way we've seen Justin Bonsignor fend off the challenge. He's led 50 laps so far. Eric Goodale's been out front. Ron Silk, Patrick Emmerling, all being shown as race leaders throughout the day. We've seen some of the young drivers come up and mix it up. We saw Trevor Catalano toward the front. Luke Baldwin has picked up 22 positions in the race from where he started today. He rides in 5th. There's been a lot of storylines in this one that has certainly made it entertaining, and we are still a long way from the finish.
Yeah, well, great lineage there for Luke Baldwin, and no doubt he's had a lot of conversations over the last week with people that have had real success here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and goes in with a head full of good ideas, and it's proving that he listened well, as you pointed out, solidly inside the top 5 at this point, and a great run going here this morning.
Yeah, Luke Baldwin drives that number 38. It's a car that's owned by Hermie Sadler, former NASCAR racer, and Virginia State Senator Bill Stanley. It's Sadler Stanley racing out of Virginia. They usually don't run that many races in the Whelen Modified Tour, but they had this car prepared, and Bobby Labonte had driven it
back
in the 38 car back at the Richmond race.
He lost the Republican primary to a Virginia delegate, House of Delegates member, Emily Brewer. Emily Brewer would then go on to win her. The district itself is based in South Side of Virginia. It was also interesting because it was the first, at least for the, it was the first elections with redrawn maps. So lots of incumbents were, like, some of the districts were completely vacant. Some had 2 incumbents forced to run against each other. Interesting stuff, or at least I find it interesting. District 17, I mentioned South Side, Virginia. Cities, let's see, the thing about Virginia is also divides into not only counties but independent cities get their own jurisdiction. Emporia, Franklin, Suffolk, Brunswick County, Greensville County, Isle of Wight County, and Southampton counties, parts of Portsmouth and Dinwiddle County. So Emily Brewer beat Clint Jenkins by roughly 5.8 percentage points, or around 3,700 votes, to win the seat. They said Bill Stanley, I'm just trying to figure out what trying to see where which district he represents. But anyway,
you can't count him out in that black.
He represents the 20th district.
Ready to get at it once again as the pace car peels off down onto pit road, and they race down the front stretch under the green flag.
We're green
to turn 1, and on that outside, here comes Chase Dowling in the 44.
All right, the leader right now is Bonsignor as he gets a good run on the restart. We have 26 to go. Goodale, I think Goodale did not get second. Chase Dowling is in second.
He'll get drafting help from behind.
Goodale third. Tommy Catalano in 4th. Baldwin 5th. Ramon 6th.
And hard to try and stay inside the top 5.
New Hampshire Motor Speedway's draft.
Back as much as
Kyle Monsignor gets into Trevor Catalano a bit. Patrick Emmerling pushing Kyle Monsignor through the chaos.
Patrick
Emmerling
into the back of Kyle Monsignor, able to split everybody up the middle. 3 wide, super speedway style.
Ron Silk, Jake Johnson, Austin Beers continuing to try and get back all the positions they've lost.
They all know it's go time.
25 to go. We got the last 25% of the race.
Mohegan Sun 100 as they race out of turn 4.
Here's Ripkema now working
Austin
inside.
Beers almost getting into Anthony Nocella, who won this race 2 years ago.
But he settles back in, gives up
There's
3
Tim
spots
Conley looking
in
for a
the
move on
process
Austin Beers.
as we watch Tim Conley and Austin Beers battling.
Silk now in the 11th position.
Well, up front, they sail out of turn 2. Monsignor trying to get a little breathing room, but second and third have hooked up together to go chase him down as they race into turn 3.
Ripkema and Connolly side by side.
Ripkema
gets ahead.
That battle continuing to rage on between Tyler Ripkema and Tim Conley. Ripkema able to get through and complete the pass. Up front, though, a battle now for second.
Car moving to the inside of Connolly.
Eric Goodale
Monsignor continues to lead.
Oh,
Chase down. Wreck up front. 1 car to the wall. 2 others railing it sideways. Luke Baldwin is the one that hit the wall.
The caution flag is out while battling for the second spot.
What a save by
Chase Dowling barely held on to that car.
A tough break for
Lost
Baldwin
a couple spots.
He's up against the wall, but they got hooked together
quite a few spots
heading into the second turn, and Dowling did a great job to get off the
That's
throttle.
44 was
not
sideways.
Mash the brake, but get that thing back going straight and saved it. Meanwhile, Baldwin able to pull away from the accident scene in the number 38.
That's a tough spot in the racetrack because right there where Chase Dowling went spinning is the tunnel here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and there's not as much room on the inside of the track when you get a car out of shape. Baldwin's got the right front tire down on his 38 for the
damage
moment.
on the back of Tommy Catalano.
Heavy damage to the back of Tommy Catalano's 54 car. That car pushed well up in that rear deck lid area, but it doesn't look like the left rear tire got a lot of damage, just the left front where he's got a flat. Let's take a look at the replay here as they went into turn 1 battling.
Goodale got into Chase Dowling. Oh my
God.
See
the 58
what a save. He drifted the whole turn. But 3 cars got loose in the turn as well. Baldwin being the only one to hit the wall. I need to see that again to see which cars got loose.
Got out from underneath Goodale, and as he went to catch it.
All right, let me see that. So the cars that got up, I know Baldwin was one. Goodale got up. So did Tommy Catalano was the other one. And that allowed a flurry of cars to get in. And I think Silk might now be in the top 5.
As well as his car.
And they're going to
right front damaged. Lynn did not lose a lap because he stayed.
Dynamic damage to that number 54 as he's able to pull away. The crew took a good look at the clearance between the left rear tire and the body, and obviously gave it approval that it will not even rub at speed. So he's going to get back out there, and looks like maybe he's going to bring it back down onto pit road and look at it again. Meanwhile, Baldwin pulls out of his pit stall.
Might be a bit of a parachute if they don't get that push back in for Tommy Catalano. So he'll bring the 54 back down pit lane. Luke Baldwin lost another lap on pit road and will be 2 laps down when he gets to the tail end of the field. So a tough break for Luke Baldwin. Tommy Catalano will take right side tires now on the 54. Again, you know, we talked about the value of the tires. It may not necessarily equal a lot of speed, but what it does give you is maneuverability out on the racetrack. And that's what's going to help him here in the final 20 laps of the Mohegan Sun 100 and see if he can salvage as much as he can once he goes back out onto the track. And right now he's shown in the 19th position. So still room to gain for Tommy Catalano, but Luke Baldwin will head to the garage. Looks like his day is done.
Yeah, obviously more damage than just a flat tire on that car, and he'll go back to the pit area and actually park right next to the Baldwin 7 New York as Catalano's had some work done on that car, a little bit of sledgehammer to the rear trying to push that deck down a little bit as we see a replay of how this all happened.
And keep an eye on the 44 of Chase Dowling as this incident goes on. There's contact there. Dowling is sideways, dirt tracks it through the corner, somehow kept it straight, saved it a second time, and was able to keep that car rolling once again. And because of that move, Dowling only fell back to 7th by the time the caution flag came out. and so he was still able to maintain some of his track position and still be a contender as we get to the finish.
But you pointed out that he did get hit in the left rear, right on the left rear tire. Whether that's going to cause any issues when they get back under green. He was doing quite well there, actually in a battle for the lead. So we'll have to see if he can maintain that kind of speed when we get back under the green flag.
So field now working into turn 3. They have not yet given the 1 to go signal as they continue some of the cleanup down there in turns 1 and 2 to make sure that the track is 100% ready to go before they fire them loose here one more time. And if you like modified racing, New Hampshire Motor Speedway, they put on a great show, but they do in just about every track that they go to. Again, we alluded to the next race in July, a JDV Productions event, the Duel at the Dog, Monadnock Speedway, not too far from here in Winchester, New Hampshire. Invite you to come on out for that Saturday event and be involved with everything that the Whelen Modified Tour has for us as the season goes on. You go from one of the biggest tracks in the circuit to one of the tightest bull rings, and that chrome horn, you think they're using the chrome horn today? They're going to use a lot of it come up in July, the next race for the Whelen Modified Tour.
Well, they came from one of the great bull rings of New England, the great Seacon Speedway, where they ran the last time. Then they come to the big track here that they look so forward to, and then back to another one of the quarter-mile racetracks at Monadnock. So a lot of work for these crews to get it figured out.
There's the fan zone here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. It's a little quiet right now because the modifieds are on track.
Is that the ride you did yesterday, Joe? You were telling me about last night at dinner?
Yeah, I can't do rides like that because I got that motion sickness and it does not go well for me.
Oh, that's right. You were on the mechanical bull.
Yeah, I was
at
the mechanical
groove.
bull.
That's what it was you were telling me about.
Yeah. And I got thrown off.
Yeah.
Great atmosphere.
1 to go
here at New Hampshire. Of course, everybody on Sunday wants to good lobster dinner here at the Magic Mile. Loud and the Lobster will be waiting in the wings for the NASCAR Cup Series winner. And that's all part of the tradition here as NASCAR New England hits the Magic Mile. So the field has been given the 1 to go signal. It'll be 16 laps to go when they see the green flag. We've seen 6 cautions so far today. And it's Bonsignor on the front row, both of them. Justin on the inside, his cousin Kyle Bonsignor on the outside in the 22 car. And they'll go toe-to-toe here on this restart.
Yeah, for the Bonsignor family bragging rights here as they'll go at it once the green flag drops with just 17 laps to go in the Mohegan Sun 100 here at New Hampshire.
Patrick Emmerling in the 1 car will start 3rd. Jake Johnson in the 3 car has rallied back up to 6th. These cautions in the late going have helped him. He's going to be a factor before it's all done. His car ready to head for cover on pit lane. 16 laps to go when they get the green flag in the Mohegan Sun.
Here we go. Bonsignor family affair at the front row. Let's go. Green again at New Hampshire. Emmerling gives a push to Justin. Justin Bonsignor in the lead. Emmerling the second.
Patrick Emmerling may be the best drafting partner in the field.
Oh, almost got in there. Oh, we got another wreck.
But Kyle Bonsignor,
it's 2 of the Catalanos. It's Tommy and Tyler.
Challenge for second on the back straightaway.
Tommy gets going again. We're still green now. We're back under caution.
The Catalanos tied up in turns 1 and 2, and that'll bring out the caution flag
for the
7th time. There's the 84. That's Tyler Catalano, not able to get his car moving once again, just into turn number 1 on the inside. He had a hard time after the red flag getting that car refired. He had to get pushed off. You see him, I just need a push to get it rolling once again and get that car fired back up. So a tough break for Tyler Catalano.
Try and get some information on.
Yeah, Trevor goes to pit road to the attention of his crew.
He got shuffled on a line on that restart as they hit the back straightaway. Let's take another look at what happened. The Catalanos, the 2 red cars in the bottom. Tommy Catalano got sideways, hit the back of his brother's car who got sideways, and then they both came together. I wonder what that's going to be like on the ride home. And taken out by his older brother. And it's been a rough go with the Catalanos. They have had a lot of good showings like they've got today, But now, 16 laps, 15 now from the finish. Just can't put it together to get those top fives that they show the strength of all day long. And tough break for that entire family, with Trevor getting shuffled out of line there on that restart off turn 2. Tyler's car finally refired and rolling back out on the racetrack. And Tommy, the issue that he had in a wrong place, wrong time incident in turns 1 and 2. So single file for the moment as we continue to work under the caution. Patrick Emmerling in that one car rides in second. We haven't talked a lot about Patrick Emmerling so far today. He's another driver that is running full-time in the Whelen Modified Tour, back once again, has a non-points win here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Came home 5th last year, has been a runner-up twice at this track, and he started the season with the chassis builder, Rob Fuller. But a couple of races ago, they parted ways. Rob Fuller, to focus on his business and refining that, continues to support and help that #1 team. But he's got the championship-winning crew chief from 2022. There's a team that has had a lot of strength and a lot of speed. But similar to what we were talking about the Catalanos, they haven't been able to finish the races. Riverhead Raceway, they had a piece of debris get stuck to their race car from another car in an incident.
Going green again next time by.
Sacrifice a top 5 running position. But now Emmerling's up front and will have an opportunity to challenge Justin Bonsignore. We've seen how fast that car has been pushing cars in the draft. Let's see what he can do when he's on the front row with an opportunity to take the race lead. They're going to realign the lineup.
I was going to say they shuffled it up a little bit here before we go to the green flag. That's going to put the Bonsignores side by side in the front row once again.
The reason for that, in the Whelen Modified Tour, the start and finish line is the one and only timing loop. And the last one that the entire field crossed was when they got the green flag. And that is why you see Justin Bonsignore and Kyle Bonsignore back on the front row. And really the reason for that is because most of the tracks that we go to, they've got one scoring loop. This track has a Cup Series, but that doesn't come into play. They keep the rules the same for all the tracks that they run on. Field coming to the green flag. It'll be 12 laps to go.
All right, here we go. Let's see if they can make it through clean. Green again at New Hampshire.
They get the green.
Side by side down into turn number 1. Bonsignore by a length will lead them through the first and second turn. And
the Bonsignore is running 1 and 2. Emmerling back in third. It's Goodale in fourth, and behind the top 5, it's Ronnie Silk back there trying to contend. Jake Johnson trying to make the move for 5th place now.
Justin able to open up the 2-car length advantage.
Yeah, Kyle got a pretty good shot from Emmerling, who was pushing him down the backstretch, but able to keep it straight. Race across the stripe again. Bonsignore 1 and 2.
Jake Johnson falling back as Sam Rameau takes 6th place.
The 3-car. Ron Silk has now raced his way back inside the top 5 after that.
Who's that in 7th? Is that Chase Dowling, the car that spun earlier? Or no, he didn't spin. He drifted and saved it. Fell back. Now he's back
to challenge for the win today.
Trying to get right into the top 5.
This is important for him in his chase for the championship, as he's able to.
We now have 10 to go. 10 miles left at New Hampshire.
Benefited him to gain positions, and with just 10 laps to go, he's making a charge back to the front.
Top 2 able to break away ever so slightly from 3rd and 4th as Eric Goodale looks inside of Patrick Emmerling in turn 3.
Goodale makes the pass for 4th.
Able to make that pass by working the bottom into 3. Now let's see if Emmerling's going to cross over
Jake
and
Johnson's
try to take
back
it
to 10th place behind Tyler Ripkema. Bonsignore Cousins several car lengths ahead as we have 9 to go.
First and second.
Ripkema trying to work on Anthony Nocella. Oh man, contact there between Tyler Ripkema and Sam Rameau.
Yeah, those guys are going to have to get together in a freight train if they're going to
Chase
catch
Dowling trying to make the move on Ron Silk, but not enough distance to be able to make it.
3rd spot, Emmerling in 4th, and yeah, we haven't talked much about Anthony Nocella. That bright colored number 17 is up there in the mix with Chase Dowling.
8 to go.
Nocella had a pretty good run. Won this race 2 years ago. Here's Ron Silk in turn 1. Can't do anything there, falls back in line.
And with each lap, the leaders continue
still
to
running
drive
head
away
to tail. Will Kyle make a move? He puts the bumper to his older cousin.
Of Goodale down the backstretch. Again, those guys would all like to hook up and catch those leaders.
Off turn 4.
7 to go.
Justin Bonsignore with 8 laps to go. 7 is a
Goodell leads the pack of basically 4 cars, maybe 5. If you see Rip come on, try to make the move again on Anthony Osella, not able to make it happen.
In third, Patrick Emmerling in the 1 car, the 16 of Ron Silk.
Battle for 7 still going on. Mr. Rip, come on, Osella.
Makes a surgence here at the end of this one to try to get inside the top 5.
And again, they
Nosella spins. It's the wall.
That's
Caution is out.
Up against the wall in the number 17. That's going to
still going though, but we are under caution again.
Caution out once again. Nosella knocked out of the groove to the outside of turns 3 and 4 in that 17 car for Michelle Davini Racing. Since her late husband Mike Davini passed in April, and this race team continues on with Anthony Nosella behind the wheel, and he will keep that car rolling, but not without some contact.
Very unhappy.
He's not happy with Tyler Rickman.
Yeah, the car that got in.
We'll have to see exactly how those two guys got together, but yeah, he was making a charge to the front. It's the first time we've talked to him since we gave the starting lineup at the beginning of this thing.
Not too damaged.
He was racing to get up
solidly
inside the top 5, and this time brings out the caution.
There are going to be a lot of unhappy people at the end of this race. We have seen quite a few upset drivers and teams in a very intense race. Let's watch this. The 32 of Ripkema on the bottom. Anthony Nosella in the 17 of the outside. They got down into turn number 3. And like we've seen many times today, the car just did not stick on the bottom. Ripkema drifted up. Contact was made, and Nosella into the outside wall.
Well, and Nosella did a great job to not get in there any harder against the wall. He kind of drifted on all 4s all the way up to the edge of the wall and just barely bounced off with those Hoosier tires, and he's able to keep going without having to hit pit road.
95 laps complete. I want to go back to that pit stop that we saw just before halfway. There was a couple of cars that came down pit road twice to be able to get that little extra insurance, that little extra fuel. Among them, the 22 car of Kyle Bonsignore. The rest of the leaders, as you roll through the field here, they have not come down pit road that second time for fuel. We talked about the fuel window being 90 laps, and we've had a lot of cautions here today that should allow it to extend. Ryan Stone, the crew chief for the 51 of Justin Bonsignore, told me earlier today, he said, you know, a couple years ago we had the race and we tried to stretch it the entire way on fuel, and coming off turn 4, we lost the race because the fuel started to just give up a little bit coming to the checkered, and that has to be on the mind of Ryan Stone.
All right, we're going great next time by. I don't remember how many laps are left.
He's good to go. Is there overtime in our future? Is this the final finish? It'll be a 3-lap shootout for the Mohegan Sun 100, and it's about to get wild.
Yeah, and if it doesn't go green to the end, that's when maybe some concern about the fuel if we end up getting into overtime here, as they're doing the calculations now to count the number of caution laps we've had and how much the driver's been able to save. We'll find out when we get back to green flag racing as the lights have gone off on the pace car, and they'll turn them loose next time around.
The drivers have said that when you come to the white flag, you want to be the driver leading the race. That way you can control the final lap. We'll see if that plays out to be true here today. 3 laps to go. The Magic Mile has lived up to the billing here today in New Hampshire. The pace car will head for cover. Justin Bonsignore squaring off against his cousin, Kyle Bonsignore, in the front row. Through the restart zone, they're off and running as the green flag is out.
All right, here we go, the final 3 laps.
The inside and Emmerling on the outside, right behind the Bonsignores as
Justin keeps the lead. Kyle keeps it second. Goodale and fighting Emmerling for P3.
Justin Bonsignore.
Come on, this is going to be a good one. I know it.
It's
Kyle pushing his cousin as we enter into 3 and 4. Coming along, it'll be 2 to go. Chase Dowling moves to P4.
Top 3 single file off turn 4. 2 laps to go at the line.
Top 5, 6 single file. Ron Silk on the inside, not getting the push. He needs to get back into the top 5.
has been.
That's the thing, he might fall into the top 10. Today. Sam Rameau going for P5 on Goodale. There's contact there. Top 2 are really the ones right now who look like they have the shot for the win. Calm down, man. Bonsignor. It's like Marley and Marley from the Muppets Christmas Carol. Here we go. White flag is out. Last lap at New Hampshire. Will it be a Bonsignor taking the win, or will it be an upset from further back? Through 1 and 2 they go.
One more opportunity. And Kyle
Calm down. It's like you're slobbering all over your microphone. Monsignor with a Justin Monsignor with a couple car lengths lead. Here we go. Out of turns 3 and 4. Does anyone have anything for the 3-time champ? Down the front stretch we go, and Justin Monsignor wins the Mohegan Sun 100 at New Hampshire.
Kyle Bonsignor, great run for him, comes across in second. Chase Dowling in the
It's his 42nd career victory, which ties him with Ted Christopher for third most all time.
After the troubles he had, Eric Goodale, Jake Johnson, Austin Beers, and Ron Silk, your top 10. But it's Justin Bonsignor, a dominant performance, led 78 laps today to win another here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, his third win at this track, and back-to-back victories for the 3-time champion Justin Bonsignor.
And he's got another race to do today. He'll be in the SciAps 200 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. This has got to give him a little bit of confidence going into that ride.
Well, objective number 1, check the box for Justin Bonsignor. He got the job done here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway and did exactly what he needed to do. He'll spin around to grab that checkered flag. What a run. What a job for Bonsignor and the strength that he had.
He will be in the Xfinity race. Joe gets number 19. He also ran the ARCA race at Daytona.
Fashion. What a race for Justin Bonsignor here today.
Going to climb out. Get unhooked and climb out. Grab that checkered flag right there at the granite stripe. There's Justin Bonsignor, your Mohegan Sun 100 winner here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Picks up that Sunoco checkered flag from Sean Whelen, the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour official. And, you know, it'll be a really good day if Justin Bonsignor is holding that flag several hours from now with the Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota right behind him. What a day for him. Certainly going to give him a bounce step. But now he's got to adjust from this sleek, lightweight, modified with these big tires to that heavy NASCAR Xfinity Series car that's going to drive a whole lot different than what he just did for 100 laps here today.
Modified
he's going to get to enjoy this for a little while.
I presume there won't be a Xfinity race today.
He's got, as you mentioned.
Well, all right, but anyway, thank you to everyone who showed up. I did hit quite a couple of viewers. So later will be the Indy Next race at Laguna Seca. Thank you all so much for watching. BowserJrXD signing off. Have a good one.